For this segment of the video, this is not my idea, this is not my concept, but just in case you didn't know, the predecessors to 518 used to be bidirectional. I don't remember their exact routes, but the bus services are as follows. So the whole concept about merging 518A, because they love 518A, and 661 into a full day express bus service to the CBD. I mean, that's their concept. I don't exactly know what kind of route they proposed, but just building on this idea, I'm just gonna tell you how I would do it. Because 518A doesn't serve Tampines, I can actually afford to do this. I'm just gonna copy the current 518. But instead of that, I'm gonna make it go inside street 11. Like this. Which is like, I'm covering 661. Now the deleted part of the route would be, I don't know why Pasir Ris Close is like all the way down here. I mean, when it's zoomed out, it's all inaccurate anyway. So this is the deleted sector. But I mean, you could just take 12, 21, and then intercept it at this pair of bus stops. And if you're coming from this area, you could take 17, like down here as well. So conceptually, this will be the route. But there is actually an additional option to send it inside Flora Drive. Because Flora Drive, other than that premium bus service, I think it was called 767, other than that bus service, which the demand peaks here. I mean, in addition to 767, you could have another bus service, which is like this merged 518A plus 661. You could send it inside here, and then you use the expressway. Or even better, you could actually, okay, the return bound, you just do it as per normal, but the forward bound, I mean towards the CBD, you could actually make use of this. Send it inside Changi North Street 1 and actually let the bus stop inside. So instead of just having like 37 and 4, you could have this new service like inside in one direction like this. Then this thing will just go ECP and then it will exit at Rocher. So what's gonna happen is ECP, exit via Rocher, and then go inside Suntec, Bayfront, Central Boulevard. So essentially you're like swapping the direction of the current 661. And from here you just send it to Harbourfront. The opposite bound, same thing, like Robinson, Marina Boulevard, and then Bayfront Avenue. You could choose to do it two ways. Like you could make it go one big round, like in the same fashion as 97. That's one possibility. Like like this, and then you use Republic Boulevard up. And then the second option is much simpler. Do this, and then go up. It's up to you. But I prefer this option, the second option, because it's a little bit faster and you don't really have to deal with like traffic from this side. So the whole concept of such a bus service is Pretty simple. Your catchment is Harbourfront, CBD, which includes Marina Boulevard and Central Boulevard, Bayfront, Marina Bay Sands, Suntec, in both directions. You funnel them all to Pasir Ris East and West. So that instead of let's say you're coming from downtown MRT station, you take downtown line and change 58 to Pasir Ris West. I mean, that's still a good option, but if you just want to take bus, then this one would be a good option. Like if you're coming from these areas and you just want to reach Pasir Ris really quickly, then yeah, this is one option. Because as you know, the current 661 actually goes via PIE, which gets congested. ECP also could get congested, but it's not as bad as like PIE. If you don't believe me, just compare like 513 and 661. And also, like I've explained just now, in the forward direction, you let these people gain access to Changi North Street 1, which is again the industrial estate and nearby SATS. Oh, and besides these areas, there's also one more, which is Flora Drive, which is quite valuable because they only have like service 4 and 5, and that's it. And 5 goes to like uh, Scotts Road, Far East Plaza, and then Newton, Thompson. It doesn't go anywhere near the CBD, so it's good to have one more bus service. So to conclude, I am not changing the way 518 is. I'm just giving them an improvement, like 518A plus 661. And the reason why I target Harbourfront is because, I mean, look at Service 30. This kind of service is likely to succeed. And honestly, if you wanted to extend this to, like, say, Alexandra, I'm not stopping you. If there is actually demand for it, then I welcome it. Now, obviously, the one downside is that when I merge these two, I would like cut off the fast access from Pasir Ris East to that 518 unidirectional loop. I understand. For Pasir Ris West, there is a way to mitigate. This is why 58 is legitimately one of the most useful bus services in the entire country, island, whatever you call it, whatever you call this place. I don't know what you Singaporeans call this place, but this is Bedok North Road. This is Reservoir Road. And this pair of bus stops near the industrial estate, okay, the industrial estate is here. This pair of bus stops is relatively new. It didn't used to exist. I mean, it didn't exist. What am I talking about? So, what you do is you take 58 from Pasir Ris Drive 3, Drive 12, or Tampines Avenue 10, straight down. No excuse, just straight down. And you can intercept 518 both directions. This is one way to circumvent the loss of 518A going to Orchard. Yes, I do know the frequency is terrible, but it is literally a straight bus service. You really cannot complain. Even in Japan, connections like these just don't exist, be it the city or the suburbs. That's how poorly connected buses in Japan are. So At least Singapore has these kind of connections, albeit the frequency being poor. Pasir Ris East, there is a way actually. Take the new service that I proposed, take it all the way to Suntec. You have 36, which does its loop, at Tomlinson, then it brings you to your doorstep at Lucky Plaza. It is still doable. And from Pasir Ris East, I'm not cutting off 518. You still have direct access to it. It is just that if you really want the fastest method, okay, I'll give you this new service and then you change 36. It helps if your destination is like at Somerset Road or Orchard Boulevard as opposed to like Orchard Road. This is the kind of compromise you have to make. And the thing is, if you're going from Pasir Ris East and you're heading towards like Momin or Newton, just take 518. It's literally like a direct route. It cuts through Tampines directly. So it's not even like wasting time or anything. Because you have to understand that 518A only runs 2 trips. And at most, I am only like compromising that one small pool of commuters. And it's not like I'm not giving them any compensation. I've suggested 58 change 518 or just taking 518 instead of A. Because conceptually, I am prioritizing the city people, like from Pasir Ris, West, East, City, and Harbourfront. And Suntec as well. If you want to go Orchard, then like you either take this service and change 36 or just take 518. And then I even said like 58 to link up with 518. It's doable. You just have to like think a bit.